This is a new style of video I'm going to do about relationships and dynamics between Dragon Ball characters that I don't think were explored as well as they could have been. Krillin was the first human character to be murdered by Frieza, and over the course of the following saga, the Cell Saga, he displays an attraction to Android 18 that is at some point reciprocated and leads to their being married by the time the Buu Saga begins. One of the things I hate about Dragon Ball Super is that it makes situations that have potential to be very interesting and oftentimes squanders them. When Resurrection F was announced, one of the things I was most curious about seeing in the film was whether Android 18 and Frieza would interact. How would 18 react to seeing one of the men who had murdered her husband and potentially could have stopped them from ever meeting had he not been revived by the Dragon Balls at some point? The answer is we never get to see this, since she stays at home watching their kid, even though she's the stronger of the two and would make more sense to have on the battlefield. This is especially obnoxious because any of the non-combatant characters, whether it be Yamcha, Chi-Chi, or Videl, could have watched Marin, and 18 is killed during the movie when Frieza blows up the planet, leaving her protection of Marin completely pointless, and making her haircut she gave to Krillin the most important thing she did in the film. The Resurrection F film was later adapted into an arc in Super, and I found myself more upset that 18 was not given a single interaction with Frieza, because I understand that movies have to make every minute count. When an arc is being made, however, a writer is allowed to diverge from the main plot, so giving 18 at least a single scene where she encounters Frieza, states how much she hates him for what he did to Krillin, and kills a bunch of his soldiers was doable, but avoided. Frieza has never been depicted as showing remorse over past killings, and it would have been foreshadowing to have Frieza meet 18, hear her speech about wanting to defeat him, and have it concluded with Frieza pledging to kill her this time since she's aligned herself with his enemies. One of the benefits Super had, and in my opinion squandered, was the ability to map out how the movie adaptations would go, since they were already aware of major plot points, meaning they could have potentially told a more compelling story than what was received in the films by virtue of having more time to dedicate to certain things. After the Tournament of Power was announced, it was revealed that Frieza would be returning as a Universe 7 participant instead of Buu. I looked forward to seeing what interactions 18 could have had with Frieza, especially considering the fact that he now had killed her once, so surely we would get at least a single scene of her mentioning being upset at him for doing this, but no. They're just both on the team, which, in case you forgot, Frieza has killed the majority of. Many people like to praise Android 17's role in this arc, and especially praise the last episode of Super where he teams up with Frieza and Goku to eliminate Jiren. But I think this team-up would have been much better if it was 18 instead of 17. This is due to the fact that outside of killing him once in a very indirect way, 17 has little to no reason to personally dislike Frieza and vice versa. But 18 could have never met her husband due to Frieza and was killed by him when he invaded Earth along with her daughter. So she's basically one of the few recurring characters to lose their entire family to this tyrant, and we get almost nothing out of them the entire time they're both in the tournament. Frieza, along with Super Buu, is one of the two villains to have killed the trio of Krillin, Marin, and 18, so he's probably more of an arch enemy to 18 at this point than Dr. Gero was. But you wouldn't have been able to tell that from watching the tournament because Frieza and 18 largely have little to no interaction. I said during my Frieza is overused video that I don't have a problem with recurring villains if something different can be done with them each time they appear. Because Frieza is alive by the end of both the Tournament of Power and the Broly movie, I'm anticipating that they are going to have at least one more major appearance by him before killing him off once more. I would like for 18 to finally be allowed to interact with Frieza in a meaningful way, and for her to possibly train over the course of this arc, since it's been confirmed that androids, whether by virtue of training or bad writing, can become strong enough to compete with Super Saiyan gods. I'm not saying I would like her to kill Frieza directly. Well, I would, but the chances of a woman defeating the main villain in a shonen is That being said, I would like for her to have a pivotal role in his final defeat. Let's say Vegeta and Frieza are in a beam struggle, and 18 and Krillin weaken Frieza with Destructo Discs to the back. The 18 and Frieza relationship, or lack thereof, is just a reminder of what I hate about modern Dragon Ball. There are characters or ideas that could be used in a very unique way and go completely thrown to the wayside for repetitive character dynamics. Imagine if Frieza killed Bulma. Everybody knows Toei would have ensured we would see Vegeta declaring revenge and promising to annihilate him once and for all. But when Frieza not only kills 18's husband, but her daughter and her as well, we get nothing. Pathetic.